Hi everyone, I'm Chloe Jones and this is Shaky Scissors, the channel that's completely designed and dedicated to helping with stress and anxiety in the salon. Hope you're all doing well, and if you enjoy this video, please subscribe to the channel or give a thumbs up or leave a comment. I'd be really grateful. So for those of you who've been seeing my previous videos, this is a follow-on from those two videos. For those of you who've not, I'll quickly recap. The first video was an introduction to what Shaky Scissors is about, and I also gave 5 points of how to help with stress and anxiety in the salon. My last video was more in depth of the first point, which was how to help with you accepting anxiety and why it's important. And this video is about sharing the fear, sharing that you're feeling anxious. I always remember the first person that I shared it with, and it took me a long time to do that. But when I did, it was with one of my friends, Julia. So it wasn't anybody in the salon. It was just my friend, and it was really really hard to do at first because you don't. It's a bit like when you're trying to accept it. You don't want to accept it because you want to think that everything's okay. Um, and then when you've got to share it with somebody, it's like you're letting that guard down in a sense. And, you know, you're worried about laying that down because you're worried about people thinking things about you like, oh, well, she's not very strong or whatever. Again, those thoughts going around. Um, But it was like a big relief actually to be able to share the problem, and you'd be surprised at how many people will say, "I get like that," or "I feel like that." And everybody has different extents of it. So some people might just get a little bit nervous. Other people might suffer severe anxiety, like I do sometimes. So there's all different spectrums of it, and I think once we share, you'll be surprised at how many people are very understanding about it. I think another thing that sort of stopped me from doing it is because we get so used to we get so used to putting on a face. We're very very good actors and actresses as hairdressers, I think, because we're constantly working with the public, and people come for a lovely experience, and it doesn't matter what we've got on in our lives. Our world could be falling apart, and we will go and put this face on, and we will be this happy cheery person. And sometimes, you know we can play that a bit too long, and it stops us from opening up to how we really feel. You sort of don't want to drop the act because if you do, you're worried about how you're going to get it back again. So that's another thing I think that stopped me from sharing. I was worried about, you know, what people would think about me, and would it make me like less of a person or less of a hairdresser or not a very good hairdresser or whatever these thoughts, which aren't true. None of them are true, and they are just thoughts, but it's because of the reaction that they create in you that it seems so, dramatic and real. By sharing it with my friend Julia, I was able to get another person's perspective on something, um, and I was able to realise that actually, it's not healthy to feel like that. And I was able to be honest with her because I trusted her and she was my friend. Um, and she helped then to give me motivation to be able to tell other people, like close family and friends, or she was able to give me advice about maybe I should go and see the doctor, because I think when you're in that madness of anxiety as well, um all them things seem really scary about going to doctors and things, because you let these thoughts ruminate, and they end up much worse scenarios than what the actual reality is. So it's good that you're able to share it so that you can get another person's perspective on it. And again, this might not, there's all different levels of anxiety. There's, some of us just might be a little bit low in confidence in a salon. Some of us might be extremely anxious and depressed. And, it might not necessarily mean you need to go and share with the doctor that you're scared of doing this balayage. I'm not saying that. You could share that with your colleague. I do that now. Still, I do it with Jen at work or Louise at work, and I'll be like, I'm not quite sure about how to approach this, whatever work you're doing, balayage, root stretch, whatever it is that you're doing. But if you're a little bit nervous about it, it's good to get another person's opinion. And so most of the time, I'd say 9.5 times out of 10, they basically just say what you've already been thinking. But it's just sometimes having that little bit of reassurance. And you'll find that the more that you'll sort of get more confidence from that, really, because you get to a point and you think, no, I know that. And it sort of builds your confidence up a little bit. So yeah, get a little bit of reassurance, get another opinion. I am sure that your boss would much rather you get an opinion off her than go into a job not really understanding or knowing what you're doing, and then either make a mistake because you're nervous, or make a mistake because you wasn't quite accurate with that technique or colour choice. I'm sure they'd much rather you get an opinion off them in private than just go into it too nervous or too panicky, and then you're not giving that service that you probably could do if you'd have just had that little bit of reassurance. And also sharing with your boss, that it's frightening to do that. And I understand it, because you're like, oh, I don't want to show her or her or him that, I feel like this, because it might look bad on me, and they might think worse of me and things like that. But, most bosses would be very understanding, especially now that mental health is people are being more aware of mental health, and people are being more accepting and accommodating of people who do suffer with mental health. And most bosses would be very supportive over it, and I'm sure that if you was to have that conversation with them, they would be more than happy to help you in gaining your confidence, and helping you to work around ways of feeling anxious and things like that. I really hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope it's helped to give you that little bit of encouragement and confidence to be able to share any worries that you have, whether it be a little bit nervous about doing that balayage or that colour choice, to opening up to friends and family, or getting the help that you need from the doctor, which is what I did. And this is why I'm really passionate about sharing these things with you, because the more support and advice and knowledge about my experience I can give to people, I'm hoping that it gives people the courage to get the support that they need and move forward to the career that you really know that you can do. Okay, so I'm Claire Jones, and this is Shaky Scissors, and I'll see you next time. Thank you very much.